All right, let's talk about something incredible. A lost world, hidden right under our noses. And I'm not talking about some myth or sci-fi story here. We're talking about a real, honest-to-goodness eighth continent. A piece of land nearly the size of Australia that's been submerged for millions of years. This is the amazing story of Zealandia.
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 94%. That's how much of this continent is completely underwater. You know the only bits that actually poke above the water? That's New Zealand and New Caledonia. Everything else? Gone. A whole submerged world.
So yeah, that brings us to the big question, right? The absolute central mystery we're going to unpack here. How on earth does an entire continent just disappear? Believe me, the answer is going to totally change how you look at a map of the world.
Okay, but wait a minute. Before we can even call Zealandia a continent, we got to be clear on the rules of the game. You know, what actually makes a continent a continent? And it's not as simple as, is it a big piece of land sticking out of the ocean? Nope. The real definition, well, that's written in stone, literally, deep down in the Earth's crust.
Yeah, it really all boils down to one crucial thing: continental crust. Think of it like the special foundation a skyscraper needs. It's this unique type of rock that every single continent on Earth is built on. It's different, it's super old, and it's basically the first test any landmass has to pass to get into the exclusive continent club.
And this is where it gets really clear. The difference is huge. See, continental crust is super thick and pretty light, geologically speaking, of course. It's kind of like a giant wooden raft that floats high up on the Earth's mantle. But the oceanic crust, that's the stuff on the ocean floor. It's thin, it's dense, it's heavy, more like a slab of stone that just sinks. And that difference in buoyancy, that's everything. So this is the kicker. This is exactly what scientists discovered when they started looking at this area. They went out there, they mapped the seafloor, they drilled for rock samples, and the evidence was just undeniable. This huge underwater area we call Zealandia, it's all made of that same thick, buoyant continental crust. So this proves it's not just a random chain of underwater volcanoes. No way. It's a real, unified continent. It's just, well, sunken.
Okay, so it's a real continent. That begs the question, what was it like back in its heyday? Let's hop in our geological time machine and zip back, way before it sank, to a time when Zealandia was this thriving world, totally above the waves. Just try to picture that for a second. While the T-Rex and Triceratops were doing their thing over in North America, Zealandia had its very own unique cast of dinosaurs and plants. See, it was once part of the giant supercontinent Gondwana, so it had this incredibly rich history, a whole lost world that flourished for millions and millions of years before its fate was sealed.
This timeline really puts the immense scale of all this into perspective. So, around 85 million years ago, Zealandia starts to crack off and drift away from what we now know as Australia and Antarctica. For tens of millions of years, it was its own thing, a separate dry landmass. But then, by about 25 million years ago, that slow, sinking process that would eventually doom it was well and truly underway.
All right, so the billion-dollar question. How did this great sinking actually happen? I mean, what kind of incredible force could push an entire continent under the ocean? And the answer isn't some big, dramatic catastrophe. It was something much slower, but way more powerful. A relentless stretching of our planet's crust.
You have to picture this. As Zealandia was drifting away, these massive tectonic forces were pulling it apart from opposite sides. It's just like stretching a pizza dough, right? The more you pull it, the thinner it gets in the middle. Well, that's exactly what happened to Zealandia's crust. It got stretched so thin that it just lost that natural buoyancy we talked about, and it started to sink.
So the key thing to get here is that this wasn't like Atlantis in the movies, a sudden overnight collapse. This happened over millions of years. This stretched out, weakened continent just slowly, relentlessly sank down into the Earth's mantle until the ocean finally rushed in and covered it up, hiding it from the world.
So, if it's been hidden for millions of years, how in the world did we find it? I mean, for most of human history, the idea of a sunken continent in this area was just a theory, almost a myth. It really took decades of modern science. We're talking everything from satellite gravity mapping to literally dredging up rocks from the bottom of the ocean to finally piece all the clues together and prove without a doubt that this hidden world was real.
Okay, so what? Why does this all matter?
Well, for one, the story of Zealandia completely flips the script on what most of us learned a continent is back in school. It proves that being a continent isn't just about being above water. It's about having that specific geological foundation, that continental crust. And maybe more than anything, it's just this incredible, dramatic reminder of these unimaginably powerful, slow-motion forces that are always reshaping our planet.
You know, the discovery of Zealandia is really a testament to our own curiosity, isn't it? It proves that even in the 21st century, there are still these huge, undiscovered worlds right here on our own planet, hiding in plain sight, just beneath the waves or maybe buried under ice. And it leaves you with this one really thrilling question. What else is still out there, just waiting for us to find it?